Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Unfortunately, the time we're living in, humankind, they have become more feral. One brother, he pointed out a very, very important thing, which is that right now Russia is scaling down their number of troops in Kiev, in Ukraine. I'll play this video in a second and I will tell you why I put that video behind me as my background. But let me tell you this. The person who mentioned this, he's not a Muslim, and he said the reason Russia is scaling down their number of troops in Kiev, it is because Russia is actually now preparing to launch nuclear attack in Ukraine, which I don't personally think would happen, but you never know. But the point of his comment was that perhaps Russia has something much more sinister in their mind going on at the moment than what we are expecting or what we are seeing happening in Ukraine. And he actually made a very good point, because at this time Russia not using full force, scaling their troops number down shows something unusual, right? It is very, very unusual. And the nature, the maleficent nature of these leaders, of these greedy people who want to hold on to power, makes it ever more uncertain as to what we can expect in the coming days. So the reason I said I will be telling you about this background picture or the video is because of this. As you can see on the screen, this is a sky that has a lot of smoke. This sky is covered with a lot of smoke. You can barely see it, but the smoke is very, very clear. It's very, very visible. And if you take a look at this picture, you can see people are actually looking up in the sky, and they are amazed. They are surprised as to what is happening in the sky. So when this person, he mentioned that Russia is scaling down the number of troops in Ukraine, is because they're preparing for the dukhan, for the smoke, and that would be created by striking Ukraine with nuclear bomb, which again I don't think will happen, but he did have a point. Now the reason I wanted to discuss about this point is because of the ayat from the Quran, Surah Al-Dukhan, ayat number 10. Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned about such phenomena. But let me tell you what is the main purpose of this video. The question that we want to answer in this video is whether Russia would eventually strike Ukraine and we will see this Dukhan before the coming of the Mahdi or after the coming of the Mahdi. What we can expect, what is that we need to be aware of at this point of time. This is the main question that I will be answering, and this is what we need to know, because again, we cannot reject this whole possibility of having this smoke, clear smoke. Dukhanun mubin, it's a clear smoke. Allah mentioned in the Quran, Surah Dukhan 10 verse, that this is a clear dukhan, clear smoke. Like you are seeing, these people are looking at this sky, smoky sky, and this is the smoke. It is something absolutely mentioned in the Quran very, very clearly. فَرَتَقِبْ يَوْمَ تَأْتِ السَّمَاءُ بِدُخَانٍ مُبِينٍ. This is the ayat. Now, before I tell you more about this, I want to talk to you a little bit about Dajjal. Believe it or not, I found some connection, even though I'm not saying this is exactly the case, but there is a good connection. I want to point out this very, very important point, which is that Rasulullah SAW, when he went to meet Abu Sayyad, if you remember Abu Sayyad, the Jew guy, the Yahudi guy, who a lot of the Sahaba, they suspected him to be Dajjal. Rasulullah SAW, one day he eavesdropped. He was trying to find out more information from him to find out whether he was actually Dajjal or not. When he was doing that, he caught Abu Sayyad and he said, what is it that was given to you as a revelation from your jinn? So Abu Sayyad, the Yahudi guy, he said, they gave me a dukh, not dukhan, a dukh. He said just the word dukh. So from this hadith, the scholars, they are not 100% sure if Abu Sayyad meant dukhan, but he said the jinn gave me dukh. Dajjalic time we are living right now. If you are somebody who wants to deny that, up to you, but dear brothers and sisters, we are living at the Dajjalic time. So if you think about this, Dajjal, if Abu Sayyad, his story, I'm not saying that Abu Sayyad is the Dajjal, but there is a possibility. Umar bin al-Khattab, for example, he was convinced Abu Sayyad is the Dajjal. But nevertheless, it does bring or create this connection between what Abu Sayyad said, ad-dukh, right, and this mushroom cloud or mushroom smoke that you will see at the end of time. So my point here is that Dajjal's time, dear brothers and sisters, is very, very close. I'm not saying because of Abu Sayyad said dukh doesn't mean that this will happen and Dajjal will appear, but we do see some connection between these two events. Russia right now, they are, as we all know, in Ukraine, they're losing. Some of the people, they're saying they're losing actually big time. They are now scaling back their number of troops and whatnot. We will see more, probably more, defeat of the Russian army. And this is, again, the war that Russia has declared on Ukraine. It is completely illegal. You do not strike a country and kill innocent people just because you fear one day they will help NATO to spy on you. That is not absolutely allowed. Rasulullah, every time he would do a preempt, he would always make sure that he is striking the soldiers, the people who are fighting against him. Right now, with this nuclear weapon and with all the technology, there is all obviously going to be collateral damage. That's what they call it. And so if you know that there will be casualties of innocent people and you still go to that war, you are committing evil. You are indeed committing evil. And when we talk about collateral damage, we are not talking about just Ukrainian people. There could be Muslims, Ukrainian. There could be people who are good, even non-Muslim. There are a lot of people who have really nothing to do with this, but a lot of people, a lot of them are suffering because of this war. So this is why I do not support it. There could have been other ways how Russia could actually reconcile with Ukraine, but Russia decided it is time for me to flex my muscle, and so this is why they are going into Ukraine. This is completely illegal and unacceptable. So the Dukhan that we talked about, the coming of the Mahdi, would that happen before the Mahdi? What will happen? So from my understanding, obviously, as I am a big proponent of the idea that the end of time will take place the actual end of time, like the final 10 signs, the major signs, after World War III, WW3. And for WW3 to take place, obviously Russia, countries like Ukraine, US, the Western countries, all of these powerful countries, they need to feel like their survival will depend on this and this and this action. Right now, obviously Ukraine has no other choice but to strike Russia back or to defend themselves vehemently if they want to survive. And one thing will lead to another. We hope that doesn't happen. We are not here to promote war, but because there is a prophecy, we need to create awareness so that we can contribute to world peace, not world war. Muslims, we are very, very peaceful. We do not want war. The only time we want war is when somebody is being oppressed. So the point here is that, dear brothers and sisters, what we really need to do here is to watch out if there is going to be a domino effect of the Ukrainian invasion and how far it will go. But again, if there is going to be a Dukhan, if there is going to be a war, and what you see right now on the screen, it will happen before the time of the Mahdi and the 10 major signs that I talked in this channel a lot in the past. Let me know your comment, but I think that situation right now is looking pretty bad, and we do need to be prepared with our iman, strengthen our iman, make amends with our relationship with other people and with Allah Azza wa Jal, come close to Him, and inshallah Allah will protect. I hope that these reminders will benefit you and prepare you for the ultimate end of time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.